It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to another episode of the Mike Prince Show. No sports going on, but guess what? There's still plenty of stories to capture. And our guest today is the perfect example of that. Just got his first year of head coaching in the Southwestern Athletic Conference completed under his belt. Had an interesting season. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail, but we're going to present to some and introduce to others head basketball coach, Brother Lindsey Hunter. How are you today, my friend?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing real good. Thank you for making your presence back on the show. We got you when you first came over to Valley. Challenging first year, would you say, Coach?
Yeah, anytime you come in, especially coming in as late as we did, not being able to kind of go out and get your players, it was going to be challenging for us. But um, throughout the season, I think we maintained a level of understanding and getting young guys to understand what we were working towards, and that was the big thing for us.
Absolutely. And you didn't see it in uh, win-loss columns, even though you won your last game of the season, which is always good momentum. But you saw growth in your squad from beginning to end. And from the outside looking in, what did you see from the beginning, mid-season, and toward the end of the year as the guys started buying into your programming concept?
Well, there was a lot of things that we took away from this year. Having a team so young, we knew it was going to be a roller coaster because a lot of young guys, they've never played this many games, they've never practiced this much, never had this much of a demand put upon them athletically, and so it was a lot of new things for a lot of young guys, and some of the things we expected to happen. But I really liked the resilience, and I really liked the fact that we got competed no matter how bad of a game we had before. We counted on our guys the next game to come out and compete, and they did. And we lost to a lot of good teams, by 4, 3, 2 points, and we took Texas Southern and Southern, to the wire. And those are things that I think guys were proud of. I always told them after games, I'm not into moral victories. But deep down inside, you knew it was good for those young guys to see that they can compete with the best of our league.
Now, I know that you saw growth in your players. What growth did Lindsey Hunter, the coach, the man, and the father, pick up this season?
Um, for me, I always use coaching as a learning experience. I've coached on every level, and I learn something every single time I'm involved with this, and that's how I'm wired. I'm wired to learn and to try to get better out of every single situation. My father always raised me that way. And he always told me the day you stop learning is the day you need to stop doing what you're doing. And I learned a lot of valuable lessons about approach, about um, the sort of demands to put on certain kids, dealing with different personalities from a college standpoint is different than dealing with pros. Um, and learning to kind of grow your young kids the right way. And I was really proud of the response I got from a lot of the young guys. I still never let down the demands that I was going to put on them because if I want a kid to get to a certain level, then I'm going to hold them to that, and I'm going to push them. And I push those guys extremely hard, and I think after the season they appreciate it more. I know going through certain things you don't appreciate it because it's hard. Um, but after you look back at it, you appreciate how far you've come, going through different situations.
Absolutely. And congratulations. I know it was a proud papa moment for you to see your son be named Freshman of the Year in the conference and hit the game winning shot to give you guys a victory win, a victory lap, I should say, on your way out on the last game of the regular season.
Absolutely. And, the biggest thing I was proud of about him is how he took the responsibility that we put up on his shoulders because as a freshman, we put a lot on him, and I knew it was going to be a lot, and I kind of thought about future when he was going through a lot of these things, and it didn't really bother me. See him struggle a little bit, to see him bump his head and to have to get up and shake it off and jump right back on the horse. And he did it each and every time. He learned what it was like to go through a college season and learned how the competition was going to be. And I watched him grow, throughout the season. And it made me feel good. It made me realize, that when at times you think, especially your own, you don't think they're listening, you don't think they're getting it. When you see, when you see certain things manifest through what they do, you go, okay, he is listening and he is getting it. And it was good for him to, after going through such a tough season, to be rewarded for some of the things that he's accomplished this season was really good for him, and to gain a lot of the respect from his peers as well as the other coaches.
Absolutely. It's a real fine line balancing act because that is your flesh and blood. But he's a player, and you got to get on him. Then sometimes I've been guilty of it. I think I may have gotten on my son a little bit harder because he was my son and I was coaching him and didn't want it to seem like I was cutting him slack with everybody else. And then in those private moments, when it come to pressure time, you say, son, you was born for this. You was made for this.
You sound like me.
Trust me, my man. Look, you got to hold it in. It's all right now, coach. The season is over with. But I know when he hit that shot inside, you was like, yes, that's my boy.
well, I'm gonna tell you the funny thing about if you watch the replay of it, you can watch his reaction and you can watch my reaction. Neither one of us moved.
I know. His facial expression never changed. I didn't get a chance to see yours. That's why I'm saying on the inside, you was going like, yeah.
Well, coaching, coached him since he was 7.
Mm-hmm.
And the unique thing my wife and I always talk about with him, he was always different from the other kids. Never, and I wanted him to show more emotion, and I started talking to him about that. He's always been a kid that never showed emotion. You could look at him and you wouldn't know if he had 30 or if he had 2.
That's a good thing, Coach. That's a good thing.
It's a great thing.
Yeah.
It's just always, being a point guard, you want your point guard to be your leader. You want him to be, that coach on the floor. He's developing into that in his own way. He's never going to be a rah-rah type of kid. That's not the way he is.
Right. Some people just lead by their gameplay and performance.
Exactly.
And you can't force that on a person.
Right.
Because it's not in their makeup. Even though you were, I can remember you being a little animated at times, but
Yep.
you're going like, man, do you even care? Inside, he's churning like a champ. He's like, yeah, I care. Maybe
Right.
Give me the rock, and I'll show you how much I care.
Right.
It's that balance, Coach. You got to have that balance. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
So I know that was a great move. So with that being said, there were 2 things that I noticed, and I don't know if you noticed, but it was like Valley played an NBA upbeat pace. And maybe they had to grow into that, or did you, toward the end, realize that maybe I might have to dial it back just a little bit?
Well, what I really try to do, and I'm always constantly thinking about what fits a group of guys. I've been around every single type of coach. I've been around coaches that no matter who the player was, you're going to fit in their system, and if it messed your game up, bad. And I always try to be the type of coach where I put my guys in situations that suited their ability. I just think that's the best way to do it. And I never try. I know we're all in this to win, and we want to win games as coaches, and we want to do this, but you still want your guys to enjoy it. And I tell the guys all the time, look, I don't like coaching boring basketball. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm not going to force you to walk the ball up the court. I don't want to make 1,000 passes. I don't want to do all that. I want to play up tempo. I want to play fast. I want you guys to learn how to, play unselfish and play with each other. But man, I want to get the ball moving. I want to get threes up. I want to, I love to play that way. I think that's the way the game is supposed to be played. And you know, until I'm done coaching, that'll be my philosophy. And I've seen people. You've seen the success stories of teams winning that way. You get the right, guys in place, and you get the right talent level in, and you can be successful doing that, and that's what we plan to do.
But now, just to play devil's advocate here, Coach, but can't you shoot yourself out of games like that sometime?
Well, you can, but if you're good enough, you're going to shoot your way to
Right back
wins
in
more
them.
so than shoot.
All right, Quick Draw McGraw. He say, hey, I'm going to live with it and die with it. I do understand. We're talking right now with Lindsey Hunter, head basketball coach of the Mississippi Valley Delta Devils. Now, Coach, you got your point. You got your backcourt play. Where do you go from here to fill in the rest of the pieces?
Well, we need some bigs, and that's what we've been, all recruiting period that we had. We were definitely courting big guys to score inside, some guys that could do multiple things. We really were looking for a tweener, a guy about 6'7", doesn't need the ball to score, but runs the floor like crazy, rebounds like crazy, finishes, and then has an IQ. Probably not a guy that's probably be a high-level recruit, but a guy that's like a glue guy that can fit in perfectly. And I think we found a couple of guys that can do that. Hopefully when this thing's all said and done, we can, get our guys signed and complete what we're trying to do. But we need an inside presence. We need some guys that can guard the rim. We weren't really good at we had no rim protector this year, and that made it tough for us defensively. And but those are some of the things that we'll be really, really looking for. You always want to find more shooters. You never can have enough shooters. So I'll always have an eye open for that also. But I'm happy with the direction we're going. And I really look forward to getting this thing kicked off, next year.
Coach, I know you're in the South. You're up in the Michigan area, um, and a lot of people they put the emphasis on we got to get local guys. We got to get local guys, but sometimes that's easier said than done. And I'm saying all that to say this: with your connection with Midwest guys, do you think it's easier to sell guys from up in the Michigans, Indianas, Missouris, Kansas area to possibly think about coming to Mississippi? It's an easier sale. Guys want to get away from their dwellings, get a chance to get a quality education. Is that something that you're thinking about looking, or would the budget not allow you to go in that direction?
Well, fortunately, for us, with all the contacts I've made over the years with basketball, I've been able to reach all over the place for players. I don't discriminate about recruiting. Yeah, I recruit everywhere. I recruit at home. I recruit Midwest, West, East, everywhere. So if they're good players and I have an opportunity to get in on a good player, trust me, I'm going to try. And that's the only way to recruit. I don't think you narrow down where you recruit. I think you go where the talent is, and if you can, sneak in and steal some talent sometimes, then you do that. That we've recruited in Mississippi as well as Louisiana, Atlanta, North Carolina, South Carolina, Michigan, Chicago, everywhere. I don't put limitations on where we recruit.
Right. Because me, see, I'm from St. Louis, and I got
Mm-hmm.
a chance to come down south. It was a big deal. Man, you're going to Texas to play ball? Yeah, I'm going to Texas to play ball. And I think you can find a hungry enough guy who has that talent that can help
Right.
you get to that next level, and the value of them getting an education and changing their lives after basketball. I just think that sometimes, especially in a basketball or baseball environment, because I think you can really change the schematics of things real quick with the right player or two to add to a program that's just almost so close but yet still so far.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things playing for Coach Andy Starvin at Jackson State. I watched how he put the pieces to the puzzle together, and that was really something that has always had an impression on me. And I still talk to Coach Starvin, um, you know, every other day. And actually, one of the coaches who's on the staff is working with me now, Coach Perry. So those guys made a great impression upon me. How they recruited, how they constructed the team, and we won 2 SWAC championships when I was in school. So obviously they knew, what they were doing and how to put a team together, and that's something that we are working diligently to do, for this coming up season.
Hey, we're talking right now with Coach Lindsey Hunter of the Mississippi Valley Delta Devils, completed his first season. Coach, I'm going to ask you this question. What was the one thing that you didn't know about Valley until you got there that was a pleasant surprise?
Being from Mississippi, I really knew a lot about Valley. I knew a lot about, Valley. Of course, me going to Alcorn, playing at Jackson State, so I was very familiar with him, and I was really close with Al Ford. Al and I had kept in contact throughout the years, before he passed away, and so there wasn't anything that really surprised me about it. Good thing about it was only an hour and like 45 minutes away from my mom's house, so that was really a pleasant surprise for me. But it was everything I expected it to be, and I look at it as a hidden gem because I really think we could do something special there if we get the right people in place.
Okay, well, Coach, we want to thank you so much. Keep grinding. It was a joy to watch you work your magic up and down the court this year and watch your son blossom. Now let's work that he don't get that sophomore jinx now, Coach.
No, we work hard around here. We know how to do it.
All right, well, Coach, I want to give you some closing thoughts and comments right now, and the floor is all yours.
All right, I just appreciate you guys having me on, and it's an honor anytime I can get to share the things that we're doing. And you guys just make sure you watch us and keep a close eye out for us because we're going to work hard to get where everybody else has been in the SWAC, and that's to the championship.
Well, that sounds like a good mission to have, Coach. And we want you to make sure you know that you're always welcome here at the Open Mic. Never are a stranger here, sir. And we appreciate having you. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Thank you guys so much for joining in with us. Don't forget our social media handles for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are all at The Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is Open Mic Broadcast Network. And our 24-hour dial-in message line, 713-570-6736. And until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.